Well, as we mentioned, the Prime Minister will make a statement on Sunday on his plans to ease the lockdown, measures that he says will come into force the next day. Ministers have hinted that the construction sector should return to work wherever possible, and that offices, public spaces and transport systems should be adapted to maintain safety and distancing. Our political correspondent Alex Forsyth has been talking to businesses and residents and local traders in Moreton-in-Marsh in Gloucestershire.
The market town of Moreton-in-Marsh is far from its bustling self. Life for many is largely on pause.
It's been strange. It's been a bit tough.
Dave's had a stall here for more than 30 years. He's managed to trade enough in recent weeks to tick over, but only just.
I don't think it'll be as good as it was ever, but just got to be thankful for the trade we got now, really.
In the Cotswold countryside, this town relies on tourism as well as local trade. Tea shops, cafes and pubs nervous about the future if social distancing is here to stay. At this hair salon just off the high street, there's similar concern. The owner's trying to stay positive and plan for a possible reopening, but conscious you have to be close to cut hair.
I'm not sure what the guidelines are going to be, and I don't think we'll be working at full capacity, which is obviously not good after being locked down. But until they turn around and tell us what it is, I can't get a plan of action going.
Many businesses and families are wondering what comes next. The official review of the lockdown is tomorrow, but don't expect to hear much about government plans until Sunday. And increasingly, it's a question of how ministers balance concerns about the country's health with worries about its wealth and general well-being. Today, the Prime Minister signalled some measures might ease from Monday, but it's likely to be gradual. On the edge of town, Anna's two sons are keen to return to school, finding work here at home hard.
I want to go back because I can see my mates.
It's just stressful.
Pressure's on, isn't it, a little bit now?
I just find it hard to like sit down and start doing the work. It's just tricky. I wake up, go on a bike ride, come back, turn the Xbox, go to bed.
Yeah.
Say it like it is, Jamie.
Yeah.
Most in Moreton are simply finding ways to cope, staying upbeat. These neighbours meet every morning for some distant company.
I live on my own, see, so it does break the day up. No end.
Just outside town, the garden centre's tentatively begun trading because of essentials on sale. But the past few weeks have been tough.
From thinking that we might actually lose the business to coming through the other side, and we're now trading, and it looks as though, hopefully, fingers crossed, that we might survive.
Here now they want clarity from government about long-term business support and to give customers confidence.
I need a clear message one way or other of what's going to happen. The lockdown is an easy one to impose, and taking the handbrake off is difficult.
How that happens will be decided far from here, but felt across this town, where many are trying to be optimistic, but feeling the personal and economic cost. Alex Forsyth, BBC News, Moreton-in-Marsh.
Now, the government's job retention scheme, supporting the salaries of over 6 million workers, is estimated to cost £39 billion by July. Now, given the heavy expense, the Chancellor has to balance the needs of the economy against the state of the government's finances. And our Economics Editor Faisal Islam is here with me to talk about this. Let's talk about the Balancing Act and what is he measuring?
Well, the government has a series of delicate dilemmas. And I thought it was very telling that the Prime Minister in the House of Commons said that there could be an economic disaster, not if the lockdown was prolonged, but if there was a second wave of the pandemic. And that tells you that what we get on Sunday, as Laura said before, is going to be step by step, incremental, baby step by baby step, even in terms of how the lockdown will change. And I think that there are other trade-offs and dilemmas. They haven't decided between the unions and the business what a safe workspace is yet. And also on this issue of the job retention scheme, the furloughing scheme, you can see that the government, on the one hand, wants to send out a signal that employers should not get too used to this scheme, but on the other doesn't want to precipitate anybody taking action on jobs too soon. It'll only be taken away very gradually as well. All of these dilemmas on costs, on jobs, on health, I think will be put into sharp relief tomorrow morning when we get the most thorough look at the economy. We'd hoped it'd be a V-shaped bounce back. It may not look like that when we get the new forecast from the Bank of England tomorrow morning.
Faisal, many thanks again. Faisal Islam, our Economics Editor.